Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Rattaz Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, when I give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. Now, I've just seen this quick article here. It says Trump's mega bill forces states to strip food, healthcare for millions while taking the blame. And this is indefinitely the the workings of the devil, the Edomites, who so-called call themselves white people today. King Trump, aka Nero 2.0, is actually that cruel Lord prophesied in Isaiah the 19th chapter, around the 4th verse, man, which I'm going to read. And these prophecies are coming to pass. Why? Because we're at the latter end of this wicked ass society run by the Edomites. And Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth. And Jacob represents the 12 tribes, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, scattered abroad, and over there, predominantly over there in the West, North, South, and Central America, man, which is new captivity, or the place of our captivity is modern day Egypt, which is America, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. So this guy Trump, man, he's showing himself to be the cruel Lord. But now he's just making rash decisions nowadays without even hesitating and thinking. He's moving like basically he's got dementia. He's forgetting himself. Like even I think it was today or whatever, they said in the article that he forgot the Japanese president or the Japanese leader's name. So he just called him Mr. Japan at a conference, man. It just shows you that this guy, Trump, is losing it, man. He's losing his marbles, so to speak. He's making rash and decisions that's going to basically not just compromise himself, but compromise, the well-being of his own economy, man, and his so-called citizens. So now these devils are definitely revealing them horns, man, by way of this guy Trump, man, King Trump. And he's like a loose cannon on the loose right now, man. He's loose balling. It says the new Republican budget law signed by President D.J. Trump last week makes a big changes on how states handle food assistance and healthcare problems, and even going back to Obama. He had certain legislations, executive orders that he signed in regarding to the, basically food and health requirements of the citizens, so to speak, and basically setting up restrictions in the midst of a state of emergency or martial law, and how they can take away your properties and all of that stuff. That's why they, the famous quote from one of their oligarchs, Klaus Schwab, is that you will own nothing and be happy, because that's part of the New World Order. That basically the Goyim, as they look at them, the peoples of the earth, the citizens, they want to brand you with us biometric C-hip, known as the MOT to the B, the mark of the beast, and you're just going to be, useless eaters in society. Basically, you're not going to have nothing tied to your name, no sovereignty at all. You're just going to be walking cyborgs for Esau and his New World Order. So it says, the law cuts billions in federal funding for Medicaid and SNAP food stamps. It says pushing more costs on individual states. So Esau is getting rid of all the food stamps and all of these benefits and welfare systems that the American citizens was enjoying for the most part, especially the women of our people, starting from the Negro women. They love them benefits, man. It's the snaps and the EBTs and all the sort of whatever credits and debit systems they set up through the welfare system, man, that they can get free money from the government. All that shit's coming to the end. That's why in Isaiah 32nd chapter it says, "Rise up, you careless women that are at ease, for the vintage shall fail, and you should lament for the teats, man." Meaning all them little benefits you was getting from the American government, all that shit's gonna get cut off. All your SNAP, all your EBTs, all your little welfare checks are gonna start coming short, and you're basically putting you people into a quagmire where your back's against the wall, so you can accept his New World Order. And the only way you're going to be able to get those benefits now is by accepting the biometric device in your right hand and in your forehead, and that's when you're going to get your little, your little welfare check, so to speak, or your little credits and debits through the UBI, Universal Basic Income that they're setting up, or that's already been set up, because the infrastructure is already there. It's just needs to be pushed ultimately, man, throughout the four winds. So this is another example of Esau, Edom, by the so-called white man, by this guy King Trump showing himself to be the cruel Lord, man, and like these devils are not wasting any more time, because they know that they got their time's running short, and they only got a little time left on the table, so to speak, to basically get this new world order cracking, man. Put that final capstone on the pyramid of enlightenment, regarding the new world order, and basically have control over the inhabitants of the earth. This is what the ultimate goal was from the beginning, man. This is what the whole May 1st, 1766 was intended to do, was for these devils to get control over humanity and make themselves the AI messiahs, basically, through their technology, man, to be like the Most High on earth. So this is this is going to be another blow for the tribes out there, man. And that's going to lead into that time of Jacob's trouble, where you Drakes are going to be, just basically going ape shit in the streets, going crazy, lawlessness and bare insurrections and sedition amongst men for, the lack of bread and for great tribulation, as the scripture says. So this is definitely on the table. So it's right, not even right around the corner. It's going to start happening as we speak. And then you got another article here for Benzinga that says, get ready for 800 hours of blackouts. Trump's DOE warns. It says Department of Energy, DOE, under President D. Trump, released a report warning that their planned shutdowns, the planned shutdown of existing power plants, combined with delays in bringing new energy sources online, could result in significant increase in blackouts by the end of the decade. So these devils are working, man. While Jake's out there just in the spirit of mirthdom. That's why it says in Ezekiel 21:9, man, from verse 9 on down to about verse 12, man, should we then make mirth? Because the Esau's out there, he's setting up a great slaughter. They says there's going to be a great slaughter in Israel, man, upon all the princes of Israel. And the sword has been sharpened and furbished. Should we then make mirth? So while Esau's plotting and planning, you tribes' demise, you got Jake out here thinking everything's a fucking joke. And, just on social media, playing a fool, doing mirthdom all the damn time and folly, getting them to shootouts and get amongst their own people, when your real enemy, the so-called white man's plotting to put you in internment camps and stick a biometric device in your ass, man, and make you a perpetual cyborg slave, See, Jake don't understand what time we're living in. They haven't measured the time diligently in itself. But these devils, they know what time they're living in. That's why they're moving forward and they're fast-tracking this New World Order agenda, man, Project Warp Speed or whatever they want to call it. So there's going to be major blackouts in America as well, leading into the time of Jacob's trouble. That's going to cause nothing but mayhem and chaos regarding, people getting resources and, even going to the banks, so on and so forth, electricity grids cut off, no power, it's going to be all out chaos and war in the streets of America, man. But this is what you get. You guys elected this guy, DJ Trump, to be your leader in the Oval Office, and he's definitely going to lead you down that pathway of destruction. Ultimately, he's going to lead the whole of America into World War III, a nuclear war. So he's the guy, man. Trump is the guy that's going to lead America into that Third World War. Abba Ratazar, man, sooner rather than later, man. We give all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, or Hashem Chakodash for that. Because he definitely chose the right man for the right job, man. Because this guy's bugging out as of late. Even with this Epstein situation, he was bugging out at the press conference, because he knows he's been basically caught out there, being exposed for lying and trying to hide information and evidence that he wasn't partaking in, those SA acts, those PDF files with Epstein and the rest of them cohorts out there that are on the list, man. You know, they're all there. They all got compromising information on them by your guy Epstein. You know, who was filming these guys doing their acts with little children and all of that. And you know, he's got the evidence, man. But this guy DJ Trump's trying to hide that. He doesn't want the information to come out. So this guy's, you know, he's loose balling at the moment, man. He's in the wrong headspace, man. He's making rash decisions, and he's forgetting himself, you know. But he's ultimately still going to show that he's the cruel Lord, because he is of the seed of the devil, which are biblically known as the Edomites, man. So he's going to do what he's been made to do, which is basically cause confusion and destruction, the son of perdition, man. You know, being revealed. So anyway, I got this next little clip here, not clip, but still that a brother put up earlier. It says, if Trump can claim a national emergency to disappear legal residents without due process regarding the immigration situation, it says, what's to stop him from doing the same to US citizens who oppose him? Yeah, and there's been, you know, video evidence of them ICE raids and all that, the ice cream squad, as I call them, you know, not only just arresting the legals, but they're arresting legals as well. So-called legal US citizens are getting arrested as well, and they're going from the Northern Kingdom to the Southern Kingdom, and then ultimately they're going to be arresting, as he said, US citizens in general, anyone that opposes this devil's New World Order strategies, you know, because he works for the IDF or Mossad or the Israelis in general. You know, he works for the Israeli government, basically, in the form of America, from the wicked elite. So anyone that's against his regime with the Israelis, they're going to be, you know, set up to be deleted, basically, to be taken out. Set up for due process, man, you know, which means what? Putting you in internment camps, ultimately sticking a biometric device in you, and if you don't abide by that, they're just going to kill you, you know. Summary executions is coming back. They're going to have the firing squads and all of that stuff, you know, give the police, militarizing the police to give them the legal right to just shoot people on sight, execute people on prejudice, without prejudice, so to speak. And also the beheadings, which is prophesied in Revelations 20:4. That's coming back in a major way. So capital punishment is going to be the new regime, or part of the regime of the New World Order. That's to maintain order, so to speak. It's to say anyone that to disappear legal residents without due process. It says what's to stop him from doing the same to US citizens who oppose him. It says no one is safe, not even people legally in the country, possibly not even American citizens. Fascism is here. So that's what America is. It's becoming a police state. Straight up draconian, austere police state, man. A dystopian place. And all hell is about to break loose, man. And the Lord's with it. You know, the Lord's with it, man. This devil's going to reveal them horns. You can even see the painting, this picture in the background there, painted red, represents who? Esau, that red horse. And that's their biblical color anyway. Well, their nationality is being red. You know, Edom are the Wamyam, in the Hebrew are the Wam, which means red, because he's the red serpent, the red horse, the red man of the earth, man. You know, Satan incarnated, you know, in the flesh. This is that devil right here. Or he's just one of many. So he's going to show them horns, man. He's definitely the true Lord. So you tribes are going to be pissed out here in these last days, man. We've been telling you, been warning you, never trust thine enemy. But, you know, as Jake do, they love, you know, Stockholm Syndrome. You know, they have an affinity, love for their master, their slave owner, their oppressor, man. They put trust in their oppression. It says now, you know, the Lord said not to trust in oppression, but Jake put trust in their oppression. You know, so they're going to get what they desire. And that's basically hell from their so-called Edomite compadres, man. So Trump's going to make some serious moves out here. He's already making moves, but it's going to get worse for you tribes out here, man. So this is Revelations 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Why? Because Esau's kingdom's coming to an end. Finally, man, it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. It says, for the devil was come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Yeah. And in Revelations 2 and 9, it tells you that this devil's going to hem certain people up, or 2 and 10, shall I say, put people in jail for a specific amount of time. The devil's going to put people in incarceration, basically internment camps for re-education purposes, for due process, as they're calling it, so they can accept this new world order. And if they don't, they're just going to be executed on the spot, by way of beheadings or firing squad or whatever, man, or getting burnt alive, like they show you in that movie Equilibrium. Any dissidents or anyone that was against the government, certain judgments was where, especially if he was found to be a rebel against the government at that time, that dystopian government, you get burnt alive. One of the punishments is being burnt alive in the oven type chamber, and I'm sure, and they had firing squads as well to execute rebels, and I'm sure they was beheading people as well. So it's getting to that, man. We're coming to that state, that time frame, man. With all, it's gonna be straight up lawlessness, and Esau's gonna, trying to benefit off that through order ab chaos, which is order through the chaos, basically, to establish his new world order. So it's coming down to the wire, man. This is Psalm 58 and 2. This is talking about specifically a nation of people, biblically known as the Edomites, man. It says, yea, in heart ye work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. And that's all these devils have done. Since their inception, man, they weighed their hands in the earth through violence, man. That's how they got power over the earth. That's how they colonized, pillaged and robbed all the nations. And still to this day, doing the same process. That's why you got them people over there in Gaza catching hell. From who? The Edomites, man. From Bibi and them. Because that's their natural order. To cause chaos. To spread death and destruction, man, wherever they go. And because they can never have enough, as it tells you in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, man. Then the largest of desires, hell, can never have enough. That's why the Lord said, woe unto them that increaseth that which is not his. And who's been known to go around stealing other people's resources and sticking their fork in their nose in other people's business that don't belong, is these so-called white people, man. Biblically known as the Edomites. So I'll read it again. It says, yea, in heart you work wickedness. So in their mind all day long, that's what they're thinking about, is how to work wickedness, man. It says, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. And why? Because the blessing that they got received from their father Isaac was of the sword. So they're using that blessing to their benefit, man. They're using it to perfection. Especially now with technology has been more so advanced. Knowledge should be increased, as it tells you in Daniel's. So now, they got all kinds of artillery and weaponry getting ready to be used on the so-called citizens for domestic teas and, so on and so forth, man. Esau got all kinds of robotics and, weaponry out there ready to be unleashed on the world. So this is why, you can't fight Esau with his own blessing, the sword. Because you're fighting a lose-lose situation. The only way you can defeat this devil is by way of spiritual power from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, which certain men of the Lord are going to receive in these last days, when the enemy shall come in as like a flood. So the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So you're never supposed to trust this devil who speaks with a forked tongue, whether they're old or young, man. Don't never trust thine enemy, man. Never trust thine enemy. That's the whole mindset Jake's supposed to be in. But Jake, they think that there's so-called good Edomites out here. I was going to say so-called white people, but I'd say Edomites out here, when Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's made to be the way he is. And he won't change, because he can't change. It says their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. So they're not going to get... Esau doesn't take correction. Why? Like, he doesn't, he's not going to take correction, basically. He's not going to hear, about righteousness and all that, because he's not righteous. He hasn't got a righteous bone in his body. Everything these devils do is, contrived and to cause chaos by any means necessary, man. That's why this guy Trump, he's just doing what he's got. He's doing what he's doing And he doesn't care about who gets in, the repercussions of his actions. He doesn't care, because to him, he looks at the people as the lesser than, and he's the king, and he is a king. Because pursuant to Isaiah 19:4, it says here, "And the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord." And the Egyptians is talking about who? The citizens, the U.S. citizens, man, namely Jakes. It says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord." The cruel lord is Esau Edom. And right now, that's King Trump. It says, "And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts." So Esau is showing himself to be the devil that the Bible speaks of. And we've been telling you, tribes, for the longest, man, that this is going to come down the pike. And Jake didn't want to listen, man. They always want to learn the hard way. So now they're going to have to see it with their own eyes and actually go through the fire in the time of Jacob's trouble, when they could have been delivered from that, delivered from the set perils. Now they're going to actually have to go through all the hell that's going to come down upon them, in these last days, in the time of Jacob's trouble, because they err from the scriptures and they err from them repenting and getting right with the Lord, man. They err in understanding, wise to do evil. So, yeah, this guy Trump, man, he's going to these horns are going to get bigger and bigger, man, as the days come to an end of this wicked ass society, man. He's going to keep showing you, tribes, that he's against you, man. He's always hated you, and that affinity goes back thousands of years, man, going back from the birth, the inception of Jacob and Esau, enemies from the womb to the tomb, man. So anyway, with that, close out. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakhakodash, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.